This is an example to illustrate how compelling, and some may even say dangerous, the technology can be if it is designed for profit only and not for sake of improvement of people's lives. This made me recall what I mentioned in the case of SMC Japan, that is, any solution for people should be meaningful to improving their lives. No matter how technology is advancing, no matter who are the banking players, the value of banking should never change. Taking it to another level, banking should aim to make the economy as just as it can for more people. Banking should not just make money based on its privilege in society as lender and intermediary. That is why member banks, or that WSBI member banks in Asia are around the globe are different. The savings banks were created in Europe at the beginning of the 19th century, which exactly this mission, giving workers and small entrepreneurs of that era a path to sustainably manage their incomes and put some savings aside. In Asia, the savings banks were created with the same philosophy, that is, providing a safe place to save money and instilling people to save money properly. You might say, ladies and gentlemen, that savings banks were already doing financial inclusion more than 2 centuries before the World Bank and other international organizations started pursuing this aim. Our banks are the engines that drive growth and development in their regions. We do this by making stronger the real economy, by financing projects of households, individuals and families, SMEs, and local authorities. One of the explanations of the solidity of our business model is that we balance the need for financial sustainability with a return to society. We call this a double bottom line approach. Instead of going for a short-term vision of profit maximization, we deliberately forego the short-term profit in favor of a long-term relationship. This does not mean that our banks are not profitable. Quite on the contrary, we are profitable. And we are well capitalized, comfortably above the requirements of Basel III. What it does mean is that we think that short-term profit is less important than the fact that we stand by our customers in tough times. In Germany, the savings bank stood by their SMEs when these were struggling due to the financial crisis. That crisis was caused to a great extent by the pursuit of short-term profits. And I know that savings banks from other countries did the same, standing by their customers. It also means that some of our members in Bangladesh, India, Malaysia, Thailand, Sri Lanka and Vietnam, for example, have created specific products that cater the fragile parts of the population, for example with microcredit. Even if it is much harder than catering exclusively to the needs of the wealthy segment. It means too that some of our members set money aside for financial education projects, even if they do not get any marketing return from it. Ladies and gentlemen, now that I have talked about our rich history, our rich heritage and beliefs, we should talk about the future. Nowadays, our members' business scope has been broadened. However, the core of its original value never changes. They turn small value savings into production activity. They are a bank for all. They are a bank that cultivates a savings culture. Those are the core values of savings and locally focused retail banks. The future of banking is not only about technology. Technology cannot replace people, and people connecting with people. Relationship management, trust, and technological innovations need to go hand in hand to provide good customer service. We do not innovate for innovation's sake. We innovate for better serve our clients, enable them to conduct more productivity activities and better life planning. In summary, it means harnessing digital without losing the human touch. Beyond digital, there is a meaningful banking approach that we all should embrace. The elements of that approach are: maintain a long-term relationship of confidence with customers, which should be fair and clear. Serve all segments of the population and promote financial inclusion in our society. Recognize the environmental challenge and contribute to the improvement of climate change. And finally, last but not least, make a responsible contribution to local communities. Given these elements of meaningful banking, we serve the unbanked or underbanked sector. It is increasingly interestingly to note that Cambodia has more adults that save in the informal sector than the formal, according to the UNCDF data. Just 10% of adults save in the formal sector, while 33% of adults save in the informal sector. The informal sector is enormous. I believe that Cambodia Post Bank, as one of the youngest banks in the country, can play a great role to encourage people to save safely within the formal sector. Another phenomenon that I noticed that in Cambodia, women own the majority of businesses in the country, some 61%. That said, women tend to face more obstacles. They are heavily reliant on informal sources and personal savings to expand their businesses. Banks seem to be missing out on an opportunity that women-owned SMEs represent. From this standpoint, I think that today's meeting on women and finance could be meaningful, as it could create a movement for banks to think of this segment and help women gain access to the global economy. To conclude, let me say that when we get people from different countries together, there are great opportunities to learn from what others are doing, as each country's context is different. At the meeting, we will hear from how different organizations, including banks, development agencies, and NGOs are supporting financial inclusion for women. It is no secret that this meeting's success rests on active participation by everyone. And in this regard, it's my honor to invite you to actively participate in today's discussion. I wish a productive and successful event. Before I close my speech, I would like you to a story in this video about savings banks. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much. business savings bank. He loves working here because he knows he is helping people and understands the special relationship savings banks have with his local community. He loves working here because he knows he is helping people and understands the special relationship savings banks have with his local community. But what makes savings banks special, and why are they so important for the economy? One of the main activities a savings bank does is to take deposits from people who want to save and lends to others that want to invest. They are regulated institutions.
So our next special guest for the day, he is the chairman of Canadian Bank, Cambodia, Post Bank, the Cambodian Investment Corporation. He's also served as a chairman of the Association of Banks in Cambodia and chairman of Cambodia Constructor Association. He's also served as chairman of the Association of Banks in Cambodia and chairman of Cambodia Constructor Association. Please welcome Mẹ Ốc Nhá Bandit Tống Kiêu Sai. Please welcome on stage everybody.
Her Excellency Nathan Anand, Deputy Governor of the Government of Cambodia, Mr. Chris Leno, CEO of World Savings and Retail Bank in Sydney. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. On behalf of Cambodia Post Bank, it is my honor to be with you today on the opening of 2019 WSBI Asia Regional Group Meeting in Women's Economy Empowerment through Financial Inclusion, organized by Cambodia Post Bank and WSBI. I'd like to thank WSBI for the initiative to provide us the opportunity to host this event in Cambodia and supporting this forum for sharing the experience, ideas among banks, financial institutions, and relevant organizations to allow us to work and cooperate for better advancement in the industry in our respective countries. Today, theme of the meeting is very relevant considering the advancement of women's rights and their contribution around the world. While banks may focus on different financial areas, I believe we are all in family united by a belief in the strength and potential of women to enable them to thrive and realize their dream by empowering them. Achieving gender equality is also part of the Royal Government of Cambodia's rectangular strategy for growth, employment, equity, and efficiency. The government recognizes the greater participation by women in the economy to accelerate the attainment of national goals. Women in the economy will accelerate the attainment of national goals, such as sustainable and inclusive economic development with a fair share for women. It is anticipated that creating sustainable economic opportunity will reduce vulnerability of women, such as human trafficking, illegal cross-border migration, or even domestic violence, as a result of increased income and ownership of money. If income increases, women will be able to invest in the development of their livelihood and contribute to sustainable community development. Women's employment is highly concentrated in three sectors, which account for 89% of all women's employment. First, in agriculture, forestry, and fishery. Second, wholesale and retail trade and services.